bad stuff was going to hit around. They were initially saying 1:30 to 2:30. So we watched it come across, and it came across the northern part of the state, and that's when the tornadoes came through. The one that hit Hackleburg and Phil Campbell, some of those crossed, went on into Huntsville. We thought for a little bit that we had probably dodged the bullet here in Jefferson County, but we saw some things back in Mississippi that made us very nervous, and of course that one of those supercells. They call these things long track tornadoes. That means it's a tornado on the ground for a long way. So, and that's the one that we so vividly saw coming into Tuscaloosa. And that's about as classic a tornado as you'll ever see, the footage that we saw coming into Tuscaloosa. So we knew we were under the gun in Jefferson County, and everybody was at the ready. And, I stayed there, and then as it came across into Jefferson County, we knew that we were going to get hit. We just, you just sit there and you brace like everybody else. And then, our Fox 6, Channel 6, and all those television stations saw it coming through the county. We went out actually on the roof and watched it go across as it came across northern Smithville. And, debris was starting to fly, so we did go back down into the bunker. But after that thing came through, the reports started coming in, and you would not believe the activity that went on in that Emergency Management Agency in the EOC, the Operations Center. But it was coordinated. It was very, you can never prepare fully for something like this, but these people do train over time. So everything got very excited for the first couple of hours, and then we get the reports start coming in. Now, we're not the 911 center, so we don't get all the 911 calls, but we are the nexus of what happens in the county. So what we're trying to do is get whatever help we can to the proper area as we get the reports. And it was very, very amazing to see how well all of the municipalities, the fire departments, the police departments came together and worked together, and they had a certain place that they would dispatch to, and they would go and help. Now, fortunately, after that tornado came through, we did still have some daylight. Most of the time it's dark. But I tell you, our response is to get, of course, you got to get to those who are hurt or wounded, and try to get them help and get them, right away to some emergency care. But, before you can even get there, and our guys did a great job of getting there, because our road crews are ready. They're out there with their chainsaws. We got to cut through to get to the main roads. And as we were doing that, the real heroes to me in this were those people who were your neighbors. Because, you can see pictures, and until you go out there and stand in the middle of Pleasant Grove or Concord or Pratt City, you really can't comprehend what it was you're in your house. You're watching television. James Spann says, go get in your safe place. And then, the next thing you can really comprehend is you come out of your house, if you were able, and it's like a bomb exploded. There is nothing that resembles what was 10 minutes ago. So those people then are the first responders, basically. You start helping your neighbors. Somebody's crying out over here. You're going to check in over here. And people grab rags to use as bandages. They use doors to take people to, because trees are everywhere. You can't get anywhere, so you have to actually crawl over trees and stuff. And then there was some guys out there in Pleasant Grove who were using their pickup trucks, and these were makeshift ambulances. So this was an incredible response by those You know, you just do it. I mean, you don't worry for this, it's just people helping people. But anyway, you know, then they would get them to a school, and then the ambulances could get in there and get them until we could get in there and get the roads open and then get our first responders in there. And I mean, you don't even think about it. But not only do you have to worry, what do you always worry about, you know, after a storm? Down power lines. So, but not only that, gas, natural gas, is leaking everywhere. Water from your house to the faucets, water's going everywhere. So it's a very disorienting thing. I can't imagine actually having been in it. But having seen it, and this was an F4, so this is not the most severe on the scale that we've seen. But I promise you, you never want to be in the midst of an F4 tornado. But anyway, so when you get the responders there, that's the first thing you have to do as the emergency response team, is get in there and get help to those who are hurt, to those who need help. So that's our first mission. And then, you know, part of that is, you know, it's getting dark, it's getting late. You have to try to get to as many as you can. And unfortunately, in this type of situation, there are those who will perish. And unfortunately, for the moment, you just have to let them lie where they are so that you can try to get to those who will make it. But you get in, you get the wounded out. Then you've got to secure that area. You don't want people going in, I mean, because all night long, we're still, you know, 11 and 12 o'clock at night, you know, in Concord, Alabama, I mean, we're still there at the Emergency Operations Center. They're still pulling people, you know, people are showing up hurt in Concord, we're getting them to the hospital. And there was probably, I don't know, 500 trips to the hospital made by ambulances that night. 20 people passed away in Jefferson County. And that is an incredible number compared to the damage that happened. But what saved people, I think, and I believe this the day I die, what saved them is they went to their safe place. Everybody that I talked to pretty much told me, well, I went to my closet, or I went to my hall, I went to my basement. So they had the warning. Now, a lot of people lost power before that storm hit, and they didn't realize it until they started hearing debris or hearing the roar. But even then, they went to their safe place. So always, always, always have a plan. And always don't, you know, we hear James Spann and those forecasters and those guys saying over and over, and you get sick of it sometimes, and you want to watch the ball game, and they're talking about a tornado down in Hale County, and you're going, come on. But believe me, because when it happens, you need to be in that safe place.